We had like 18 before. Oh, that's T5.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Division 1 in Canada. This week it's going to be 12 corners around a fast track around 2.7 miles based in Quebec. So to start off, we're going to have some pre-race interviews. Here we have Death Star with us.
Hello there.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing just fine, man. I've got a couple questions for you. So, what's your confidence going into this race?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I should be fine because my main competitors like KJ and Tom aren't racing. So
Yep, that's very fair. So what type of practice did you do to get ready for this event?
um I love Canada so much that I only really did time trial, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that. All right. So our next question is going to be, what do you think pole position time will be? I think we had a 109.5 for our pole position yesterday in D2. So what do you think that time is going to be?
Oh, definitely somewhere in the 109s. Probably. I don't think it'll be that different, to be honest, because a 109.5 is very quick.
Yeah, agreed. But
So
yeah. And final question, and then I'll let you get on with it. But who do you think the top 3 qualifiers will be today?
top 3 qualifiers, obviously myself. I have to say that.
Yep.
I think me, Grizzler, and I don't know. Maybe Humane or Milan.
That's a good shout. So yeah, I'll let you get back to it. Get ready for the race, and we'll see you whenever session starts.
Okie dokie.
Good luck, man.
All right, bye.
Adios. Let's see if there's anyone else that wants to come in for a cheeky pre-race interview. Let's see if my audio is actually working. Review. Okay, yeah, we're good. Gonna link. See if anyone else wants to get into here while we prepare our session. Looks like the lobby's still filling up. Okay, I think we might have our next interviewee. Arweb, can you hear me?
Yep.
There you are. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Great, thanks. You?
I'm good. So I'm gonna ask you similar questions that I asked to the previous interviewee. So what's your confidence like going into this race?
Not very good with the track limits.
Yeah, there's been a quite a bit of those that we've seen this whole weekend. So hopefully we can mitigate a few of those, keep it a clean race. What type of practice did you do to prepare for the race?
short quality and just trying to make sure, like on bankers, to make sure not to invalidate, to
There you
not
go.
ruin a set of tires.
Okay, so just some qualifying practice. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna have another couple questions for you here. What do you think the pole position time will be for qualifying today?
Well, I heard Grizzly do a 9, so maybe a 9.1 or something.
9.1. Yeah, that's up there, but it's very possible with the grid that we have today. And last question, then I'll send you off. What do you think the top three, or who do you think the top three qualifiers are going to be today?
Well, like KJ isn't here and things, so probably Death Star, Grizzler, and maybe Taylor.
Okay, that's a pretty good lineup right there. So yeah, that's all the questions that I've got for you today. I'm going to go ahead and send you on your way. Good luck in the race, and try not to get too many track limits penalties out there. All right.
And thanks.
Okay. Have a good one. Okay. I don't think we're gonna get any more pre-race interviewees. We'll just hold on for a quick second. Just gonna let the room cool down for a second. No, there's always those pre-race nerves that'll get to you. Definitely understand that myself. Ski hanky. Oh, that's great. Alrighty. Don't believe we're gonna have any more people wanting a pre-race interview. Just got the good luck from Rise. And you too in the chat. Also, you can send in your predictions for poll time and the top three qualifiers if you'd like. Go ahead and send those in the chat. We'll loop back around, see who's closest. Just another 2 minutes till sessions start. Then we get underway with qualifying. Oh, I was off. Okay, yeah. So the pole qualifying time was a 110.2, but I have been looking in the time trial times, and it looks like we might actually have quite a bit of gap between D2 and D1. There he is. I think we're waiting on one more. Okay. Looks like we have everyone in the lobby ready to go. It's going to be a bit of a short qualifying today as we don't have enough racers to fulfill a full 3-session qualifying, but should be still just as action-packed as a full qualifying would be. We should be underway here shortly. Some debating going on, whether I'm not certain if everyone's here. Alrighty. We will be back shortly at the start of qualifying.
In 2015, the drivers were hitting 317 kilometers an hour before they brake for turn 1. Fourth gear left, that's immediately followed by the long 75 kilometers an hour second gear right of turn 2. They accelerate up the hill 270 kilometers an hour before braking to 125 for the tight fourth gear chicane that forms turns 3 and 4. The drivers are then quickly fired into the sweeping right-hander of turn 5 in the shadows before hitting the brakes at 275 for turn 6. The field will try to hug the apex on the left, which feeds into turn 7, a third gear acceleration zone that exits onto the back straight. The drivers will race back up to 307 kilometers an hour along this stretch before braking to 115 and fourth gear for the second chicane of 8 and 9. Carrying momentum is key at this point of the track, and the first DRS detection point comes shortly before the drivers brake at 300 for the hairpin taken at 62 kilometers an hour, the slowest corner on the track. From there, it's a high-speed race down the 1.1 kilometer main straight, which incorporates the slight kinks that make up turns 11 and 12. The drivers will be doing almost 340 kilometers an hour when they arrive for the final chicane. Brake at 100 meters, shed almost 200 kilometers an hour in 1.6 seconds. This is the prime overtaking spot as they try to carry as much speed as possible down the pit straight for another lap of the Canadian Grand Prix.
And welcome back. We are starting qualifying here. Oh. Okay, there we go. And detail tire. Oh. Okay. Having some issues here, but should be fine. All right. And Koiz will be our first driver out. My apologies. Great. Apologies, I have to invite Excellence. There it is. Okay. As we have our first driver approaching his first push lap, let's see what he can do. Koi's in the Alpine, crossing the line. Onto the early apex. Through turns 3 and 4. Should be going up to 7th, 5 and 6. Sets a purple sector 1. Although he's the first driver out, so we will see. Very clean sector 2. Around the hairpin. Going on to the sector 3 straight. Short shifting is very beneficial in that area. Onto the straight now. Lots of traffic. Pretty much everyone's cleared the pit at this point. Coming up to the last chicane. Doesn't invalidate. Doesn't hit the wall of champions. And our first time we set a 112.6. Lots of room for improvement there. As we go to Dolby's on the left. Our web sets a 113.4 in his mediums. Let's see. Oh. Mayo. Ferrari, it's validated. Go back up to Tyler. No. K5M5 in the Haas, setting P1 going 110.9, 2/10 improvement over P2, still in the Mercedes. Let's go to DeVito, next across the line. Through the chicane, doesn't invalidate. Ooh, looks like he bounced off the wall of champs there. Across the line. Goes P3 with a 111.3. Our next will be not Milan. Tyler. So that's a 111.2 to go P3. So we have the McLaren. Doesn't invalidate, comes across the line. Sets P1 at 110.6. Wow, what a lap. Looks like next up is the Grizzler in the Red Bull. Across the line at 110.1, setting a 5/10 gap between him and P2. What a time. Looks like we only have a few that have yet to cross the line yet. Excellence in the Alfa Romeo. Trying to find time in Sector 1. Finishes with sub 20 Sector 1. That's a good time. Into Sector 2 on the straight. As far left as you can. Down into 4th. And he... Did he get invalidated there? No? Was he impeded? He might have been impeded there. Oh, time to commentator curse my teammate. Jamie. Lad. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Death Star might be on a lap here. We will see. Nope, as he's going into the pits. See who else. Looks like everyone's coming into the pits now. As Tyler goes through into the chicane and validates. Ooh, that's gonna be hard. He's gonna have to find time to either go back into the pits to refuel, or maybe he has enough for another lap. We won't know. With 11.5 minutes left in the qualifying session. Up to Jamie. 9/10 down on his previous. Sets P2 with a 110.4. These are some quick times coming out of D1 here. Grizzler still P1. As Abdul Aziz sets purple sector 1. Hard down the straight here. Gets as wide left as he can. Through the sector 2 chicane. Up into the 3rd sector. So he will encounter the hairpin. It's very crucial to brake as hard as you can, come out like a slingshot in order to get the most time, as he sets a purple sector 2 as well. Down the straight. Using up all of his resources right here. As he will definitely not invalidate, not hit the wall of champs, and he comes through to the finish line with a 110.0, 5/10 up on his last, sets provisional pole. See who else is on a lap. He's invalidated. R-Web in the Red Bull. Coming up to the last chicane. Avoids the wall of champs, just narrowly. Down to the straight. And he's 1.6 seconds up on his previous time. Sets a P9 1.11.7 with plenty of room for improvement. Let's see who else is out on a lap here. And looks like NSO Burt might be on for one here. As he comes through the final chicane across the straight. Avoids the wall of champs. Sets a 1.11.1 for provisional P7. So there's still 3 drivers yet to set a time with 9 minutes remaining in the session. Milan is invalidated. Stein crosses the line going P6 with a 1.11.0. We have Excellence, the last driver to not, well, one invalidate on a push lap and come in for a time. He is a D3 driver reserving for D1. Wow. Around the hairpin. Ooh, just snugs up to that wall there. So crucial to avoid it. Crosses the line with a 1.10.8, setting provisional P6. Still plenty of time to be found. This idiot should have reserved. Maybe you still can. There's still plenty of room in this lobby. As Grizzler sets a purple sector 2 coming across the last hairpin turn here. Lots of traffic coming across the straight. Till on a lap. Oh, not on a lap. Not on a lap. Arwood not on a lap. Grizzler across the line, 210 up, set a 1.09.9. Provisional P1. That is a hell of a lap right there. Optic Jamie on a lap. As Death Star has retired? Maybe? Tyler NSO Burt's invalidated. He was, oh, while he's 1.5 tenths up. That's gonna hurt. That 1.5 tenths would have been enough for him to overtake his teammate in qualifying position and DeVito in the Haas in P8. Set a provisional P8 as he goes into the pits, possibly to refuel. As we have an AlphaTauri coming across the last straight to the final chicane. Has to be really keen here not to hit that wall of champs. Swerves to avoid. Hard right on the track, across the line, 2.5 tenths up, sets provisional P3 with a 1.10.2. So we have Tyler that just crossed the line with a 1.10.8, still plenty of time to be found. So it's low diamonds at 250. Okay. Sorry ladies and gentlemen, just gonna send out a quick invite real quick, and you did not add me. You're offline. Ah, see if you get that. Okay, let's see who's on a lap here. It's like Optic Jamie might be either coming in because he just set a lap. So we will pay attention to the Red Bull behind him, who's currently in P12 with 111.7. Up to the final chicane. Very tight through here. Starts to avoid. Need to stay on the right side of the track. Just straight shot it. 5/10 down on his time. 111.1 does not improve his position though. So we go to a Haas of DeVito. Coming in to set. Oh, no, he's on an outlet. My fault. Let's see. Oh, his Grizzler set at 109. I know that one. Okay. Our web set to improve here. Down 1/10 on his time. And change. Really needs to push here. He's got to find time in this last sector in order to improve any sort of position. He's only 1/10 down on P11 though, so there might be some sort of position change coming in here. Let's crosses the chicane. Down the line. And it's to 111.1, which is only 1/10 down on his time. Does not improve his position. He's 4 thousandths behind Innes Obert in the Ferrari. DeVito's invalidated. As we have my teammate out on a lap right now. He is up on his time, half a tenth. Sets a purple sector 2, but he definitely will not invalidate here in the last sector, especially crossing those chicanes. It's only P2 right now, but he's gonna have that Red Bull of Grizzler in his mirrors. Setting P1 here. Cross that final chicane. Hard down the line. And crosses it with a 109.9. Sets provisional pole with a 109.965. 200 subs on Grizzler, the Red Bull, behind him. Tried to do a cheeky commentator curse there, but I don't think I'm very good at it, so I apologize in advance. Excellence is invalidated. K5 out on a lap now. Switch over to DeVito. Let's see who's going to be the next. Our Webby's going into the pits. Milan, the only driver to not set a lap here. Pay attention to him. Around the hairpin. Trying to find grip. Short shifting is a necessity here. As looks like Death Star crashed. Oh, Grizzler set a P1 provisional pole, 109.7. Will anyone be able to improve to beat the time? So Milan sets a 111.1, just enough to get ahead of the Alpine of our ARL McCoys. Let's see, Alpha Tauri next to cross the line of Optic Jamie. He is not improving on his time as he goes into the pits. Let's see, Bobo is on an in lap. So we have Alpine of Coys into the final chicane. Over the corners. Across the line with a 110.2, enough to promote himself to P5. The next to cross the line will be the Red Bull, probably going into the pits though. He is our provisional pole sitter currently. So we have K5 M5, he's on an in lap, or he's taking another lap around. getting a feel for the track. So Bert, Vito, Milan. Looking to, he's not going to improve here. Going to improve. Tyler, half a tenth down on his time. Ooh. Around the final hairpin in Sector 3. Stein, R-Web, and Death Star are the 3 to retire from the session. As Grizzly retires from the session, the provisional pole sitter is now he's now out of qualifying. As Tyler crosses the line. Oh, and invalidates. Let's see who else can make it to the line before the end of qualifying, as there are 15 seconds left. 7 seconds. He is going to make it across the line in time. So we'll see if Abdulaziz in the McLaren. Oh, and he invalidates. Will mean he will start from P2 on the grid. See if anyone else is on a lap. He's not up on his time. He's invalidated. He's finished. He's invalidated, and he has spun. As they're starting to have some rain come out onto the track here. Looks like that will be the end of qualifying in this session, with Grizzler as your pole sitter for the evening. Abdulaziz in the McLaren for P2, and Optic Jamie in the Alpha Tauri for P3. Humane. Let's see. Oh, EDF left the session. I don't think I have Humane added. Unlucky. Yep, no one will improve here. So, it'd be smart to all go into the pits and retire their vehicles as we go on to the race. Okay. How's chat doing over here? Humane, I'm in the spectating screen. Wally, it won't let me pick a team, so it put me in. Okay, so Idiot, you just have to scroll through the list of drivers until there's an open slot. Yeah, you'll be sitting in the spectating screen. With our top 5 drivers being Grizzler in the Red Bull, Abdulaziz in the McLaren, Optic Jamie in the AlphaTauri, K5 in the Haas, and Koi's the brand new driver setting a monumental time of 1.2 or 1.10.2, only 5 tenths off of pole in the Alpine. Lots of invalidations. Maybe a crash. I'm not sure. Yeah, the top 3, they Tyler surprised me of how far down he is. He's normally really fast. What happened with you, Death Star? You only went out once on mediums. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and get this over here. Alrighty. Cursive diamonds joining. Let's have this over here and then have that up right there. Perfect. Alrighty. Oh, ear rape. It's gonna be hard. It's really hard to ear rape in the mic.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very good qualifying session from the D1 drivers. There's only half the grid on today with a couple of trialists and reserve drivers, but it was a very, very entertaining qualifying session. I am very surprised by the top 3 positions being separated by more than 5/10, I believe, but we'll see once we get into the race. It looks like it might be some dry sessions, but yeah, we'll go forward with the race and we'll check back in later.
Is that good enough? Yeah. Is that loud enough for y'all? Oh man. Oh, hydrate. Okay. Appreciate it. I actually, in preparation for this race, I made a picture of I made a Brita, or I filled up my Brita this morning. Yeah, Grizzler finished quality with a 109.5, I believe. Yeah, Grizzler got a 109.5. Oh, there's spit on my mic. Let's go ahead and just wipe that off. Oh god. Okay, 2 hydrates now. Maybe I get nice and close to the mic. ASMR hydration. Alrighty. Bigger sips. Man, I'll do a consolation sip. All right. All right. Oh man, I better be getting paid for this. ASMR content ain't free. All right, so we start our formation lap. We will go from interval to tire. Entry disabled. Lap data. Okay, that'll be fun. The majority of the grid starting on hards. Maybe looking for a 1-stop. Possible strategies will include a hard to medium 1-stop. Pitting lap 18 for mediums, of course. Vice versa with medium to hards, pitting lap 17. Trying to do a 50-50 split. Oh, good lord. Maybe a 2-stop, a medium to soft for the 3 runners that are on mediums starting on the grid. Might be an easy jump because there is a difference in grip between the hards and the medium tires, but 50, I don't get it. Or maybe the long runner strat where you try and push your hards to lap 25, lap 26 to pit for softs. But as we have seen in the previous races with D3 and D2, safety cars are definitely a thing on this track. And they might come into play this race. We'll see if we can keep it clean out there. But there are 15 drivers on the track, which is more than I believe we started with. I might be wrong. But yep, there's your possible strategies down there on the bottom of your screen. So we will sit with, with K5 for the start of the race. So we reform our grid. Reference of a dude buying a $1 Coke for 50p, slamming a kind of walking off. That sounds badass, and he might be my idol. Alright, we have Grizzler in the Red Bull, McLaren in, or Abdulaziz in the McLaren with your front row. See if there's any quick positions. Okay, join us now for 35 laps around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve as we have 1 red light, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. Grizzler taking the inside on the hards, trying to defend as best against Vabo as he can. Abdul being smart to stay behind here. We have some position changes. Optic Jamie started in 3rd, now down to 6th. Still looking clean. So we saw a driver go off the track there. Lots of traffic coming into Sector 2. More position changes. Till, the new Mercedes in his seat, getting comfortable, getting acclimated. See the grid is very close. No one's got any sort of separation yet. See Death Star close behind DeVito here, looking for an overtake. So they approach the hairpin and going into Sector 3. Only a 10th separating the two. Prime overtaking spot as Death Star overtakes the Haas. And DeVito takes his position back. Looking to get the outside line here on Death Star as he cedes the position, being smart, not trying to go too wide into this last chicane. Till in the Mercedes takes it too wide into the chicane. Hits the wall of champions on the inside, loses a lot of time. Grizzler still setting pace with P1. As there's a lot of movement coming on back here. Going too wide around the turn 2. Going into turn 3, turn 4. Quick chicane. Not a great place to overtake until you get onto the straight. Be careful not to cut those corners. See, our closest battle behind is Till right here against Stein in the Ferrari. As Idiot gets overtaken by Milan in the Mercedes behind. Till still hot on Stein's trail here. Touching a lot of grass. Oh. Seat might be a little dusty when you come back. Go to R-Web. See, we have R-Web behind 5/10 to the nearest driver. Well, Vabo setting fastest time, getting P1 back, overtaking Grizzler in the Red Bull. As R-Web actually overtakes Idiot in the Alpine. Trying to find a good line. After turn 2, going into turn 3, turn 4. Smart to stay close, but not overtaking this sector. Until the straight, of course. Still looking for a possible overtaking position, as we'll go up to Excellence, who has just gotten to P4. Overtaking Koi's. Our AlphaTauri is going to be back on their dominating streak as they have been. Excellence, the D3 driver, up into P4. Started way farther back than that, I believe. Yeah, 3 position changes so far. The grid is still pretty close together. As you have R-Web and Idiot back behind, fighting, losing time. Babo sets another fastest lap. Oh, is everyone setting fastest laps now? So we will not pay attention to that yet. So look back onto the tire. James, hydrate. Yeah! Alright. Cheeky hydrate. Very good. K5M5 looking for a possible overtake on Grizzler in the Red Bull. Both on hards. Abdul might look for some time to gain here. Leave the pack behind him. So we have Stein and Till fighting in the back, P11, P12. As Till goes around Stein on the inside of the hairpin, leading into Sector 3 straight. Should get DRS here, yes, as he lengthens the space between himself and Stein. Milan also overtakes Stein. Stein's still close behind. Oh, as Till is out of the session, slams into the wall of champs. His race is over and he's only 4 laps in. Unlucky that. Safety car, or virtual safety car comes out. Delta cannot be overdone. Stein with the J, yeah. It's just unlucky that. There's a VSC here, so it should be cleared up pretty soon. We'll be back underway racing again. First slowdown of the race. Don't think any drivers will believe that it's a good time to pit yet. As Milan picks up the first track limits penalties. Back underway. Idiot and R-Web fighting behind. Gap is increasing to the rest of the drivers in front of them. Still very close. Grizzler might be looking for an overtake here into Sector 2. Be smart to stay behind. It's still very early in this race, so we don't want to be causing too much of a ruckus. As another driver picks up a track limits penalty. You know what? My mouth is kind of dry. Can I get some more hydrates? Well, if you want Death Star to do badly, then, commentator Chris. Thank you, Rise, for the hydrate. It's still quite hot here. Alrighty. Let's see. Our closest gap would be between Excellence and K5, actually. Excellence looking for an overtake on K5 M5. AlphaTauri versus Haas as Death Star gains a position. Going into the final chicane, up into Sector 1. Down the pit straight. Still hot on K5's tail. Skrizzler looks ever more promising for a position change here. As Idiot and Milan both go into the pits. Stein picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Abdul lengthening the gap between himself and Grizzly. K5 and Excellence very hot behind. So far, a very clean race from the top up here. See Tyler maybe looking for an overtake, or DeVito maybe looking for an overtake on Tyler in the back. As the grid is now starting to separate, as people have come into the pits, possibly to change front wings, possibly to change tires, we never know. That'd be kind of stupid if they were. Oh my god, I just looked over. Oh, wow. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, well, looks like I'm gonna have to make me another glass of water here, so. Bottoms up on that one. And pouring another one, I guess I gotta finish this as well. I should probably buy a bigger pitcher of water. Oh, as DeVito and Tyler are fighting it out in Sector 1, coming into Turn 3, Turn 4, still changing positions. As there's contact, Tyler goes into the wall, spins, he's backwards on the track. Loses his positions. Still trying to figure out which way he should be going, whether it's forwards, backwards he's facing, he doesn't know. Somebody get this man a map. No safety car deployed, still safe. Milan has left the session. Go ahead and get him an invite. There he goes. As we look for possible position changes, closest is Excellence, still behind K5. Not willing to let that, not willing to let that position cede, as Grizzler now overtakes the McLaren on Sector 3 straight. Oh, what a corner from the McLaren. Didn't see any contact. Might have been some as he retakes P1. Wide into turn 1, close into turn 2, taking the early apex. Flat out on the straight, going into turn 3, turn 4, as K5, M5, and Death Star exchanging positions. Excellence, D3 driver, now up into P3. Fighting with the big boys here. On the hards, could put in a good stint. Abdul up front, still trying to lengthen the gap behind. Possible position changes. It's still so close up here in the top 8. Top 8. Trying to keep it clean. Now rounding the Sector 2 final chicane. Going to Sector 3, looking for the hairpin. Ooh, as Coys goes for a position change. Down the inside of the hairpin. Trying not to let that switchback happen. Now gets it straight. We'll have DRS to lengthen the gap to K5 behind. Now K5 is dropping positions quite frequently here. Apparently Excellence tapped K5 in the back. No Excellence racing there. Haha, gotcha. K5 picks up a track limits penalty. So Optic Jamie looks for a move. Crossing the line. Turn 2. Keeping it neat and tidy here. As Grizzler has now overtaken Abdul again. Ooh. That would have been a track limits warning at the very least. Excellence picks up 3 seconds, looking for a move. Taps the back of Abdulaziz. Still looking for a move. Might be some front wing damage here from Excellence. Gonna ride on board. Looking down the inside, knows it's too late, too deep to go into that overtaking area. Boys has left the session now. I don't have him added. So we will look for Death Star, who is now hot on the trail of Excellence, trying to look for an overtake here, maybe. Nope. That would have been stupid. Both Excellence. Oh, and Optic Jamie maybe hit the wall there. Not seeing any damage so far, but he has lost quite a few positions. Death Star and Excellence now at it, battling. Death Star around the outside of turn 3 gets cut off by Excellence in front of him. Down up into Sector 2. Oh, and a safety car comes out. Optic Jamie now spinning around on the track. Lost his front wing. Like a man with no mustache here. It's just a sad sight to see. He's going to have to go into the pits. Another virtual safety car has come out. Maybe gives time for people to pit. Possible tire strategies and implications from this. Still quite an early safety car. Hard runners still have plenty of life. Mediums might be looking for a tire change here. As Grizzler is still in P1. Didn't get overtaken by the McLaren. See, will anybody be looking for a change of scenery in the pits? As we have 2 drivers of the McLaren of Abdulaziz and Excellence in the Alfa Romeo coming into the pits. Death Star overtakes, regains P2. We see Idiot now having a drive-through penalty. 4 drivers in the pit. Optic Jamie. Others including Arweb and Tyler, Milan, and Idiot all have time to make up here. Get closer to the grid as racing is back underway. Grizzler having a 1.5 second lead on Death Star behind him in P2. No changes yet, but Death Star does have a track limits penalty. DeVito behind 3 seconds, still plenty of room to make up there. NSO Burt hot in the tail of the Alpine in front of him. They are all Coys looking to defend from the Ferrari behind. Stein now looking to close the gap between his teammate in front of him. Babo looking to regain his position on track. He is pit for another set of mediums, so he might be going for another 2-stop here. Might be very hard to take those mediums 23 laps to the finish of the race, so he definitely is looking at a 2-stop. R-Web 4 seconds behind. Excellence. Now 3 seconds and closing to the McLaren in front of him, looking for an overtake. Down the pit straight. Can't take that too wide. Fight Koi sent you requests. Oh, that was him. Okay. It was like EOIS or something like that. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Look for possible position changes. Excellence now 9/10 behind, losing time to the McLaren in front of him. For any possible position changes, Haas now catching up to Tyler in the Alfa Romeo in front of him. Gaining quite rapidly. Might be looking to the inside. Nope. Decides to stay back. Maybe take the outside line. Go for a possible switch back here. He's going to have DRS. So it might be a possible overtaking position change here. 2/10 in closing. Tyler sees the position. Deciding not to get into the tussle there. As we look at Vabo now overtaking Koi's. That was his AI. Oh, that's why he was ghosted. Okay. My apologies. So will Koi's be able to get back into the race in time to be competitive in this here? Need another invite. It didn't work. Okay. Invite sent. As K5 now overtakes R-Web. Lots of space on the track now. Excellent, still 1 second behind. Grizzler ever taking the gap farther away from Death Star. Actually closing now, less than a second. Oh, as Death Star goes into the pits, time to change up the strategy a little bit. That was the early pit for that. Oh, as we have a Mercedes stopped on the track, as Milan has gone completely backwards into Sector 2. Is there any damage? Maybe some contact there? I'm not seeing any. Probably just spun out. Koi's, are you back in the session? Yes, he is. Okay, now we are looking for possible position changes. McLaren back up into P4 on those brand new mediums. Looking for an overtake here on NSO Burt as he has completed the overtake into the Sector 2 straight. Going into the chicane leading into Sector 3. Excellent, still behind, looking for another position. Still looks fairly clean as Idiot racks up another 3-second time penalty. Optic Jamie maybe close here. Oh, as Excellence overtakes NSO Burt on the Sector 3 straight. Death Star is still behind. Those brand new hard tires won't be lacking in grip at all as NSO Burt goes into the pits. Time for a new set of tires, he says, for new hards. As Koi's also goes into the pits. Excellence behind the McLaren now. Tyler maybe looking for an overtake here. Close behind Jamie. Less than a second and a half separating these two. And R-Web, the car in front. As Optic Jamie now gets a track limits penalty. Now very close. Only a second separating position 7 from position 9. So they go around the sector 3 hairpin leading onto the straight. It's a very good overtaking spot. Force your way into the inside and take the inside line. Ooh, as R-Web loses a bit of time. Now a second behind Optic Jamie. As Death Star goes into the pits. Second stop of the day, I believe. Now looking to take these mediums 18 laps to the end of the race, possibly. Excellence. Still breathing down this McLaren's neck. DeVito ahead. Trying to maintain that gap. Oh, as he falls into less than a second. He's in DRS range now. Will Abdulaziz be able to overtake DeVito in the Haas now? Regain his second position. Less than 2 tenths. So he goes for the overtake. And he has gained the position there. He's back in P2 where he started. Grizzler now 8 seconds ahead of everyone else. DeVito goes into the pits actually. Says it's time for a change of tires. Penalties? Let me get those for you. Still pretty clean, 3 seconds across the board, with the exception being Edie at the D2 reserve, coming up to D1 reserve, D2 full-time driver. You see now, Coy's now on the brand new softs, looking to make up some time. Oh, and Optic Jamie ghosted for some reason. Coy's letting him back past. Maybe some illegal overtaking going on here. And so Burt looking for the overtake on Tyler in the Alfa Romeo ahead. Going too wide, and they manage the overtake. And so Burt now in P8 as Optic Jamie makes up P10. Excellence has overtaken Abdulaziz in P2. Two being on very similar strategies here as Grizzler goes into the pits, puts on a new pair of mediums. Where will he come out? Back into P3. Most likely there's a lot of time separating the two. Unless K5 can get past him here, which he does. Stein in the Ferrari. Will he get past? No, I don't think he will. So Grizzler comes back into the playing field, P4, on a brand new set of medium tires. Looking to finish out the race on these. So Burt, another time penalty there. So the driver's ahead. Grizzler now looking for the overtake on K5. Ooh, his Death Star is very close behind DeVito here. Looking for the inside line. He gets the inside line. Looking to mitigate that switchback. And he's into P6 on brand new soft tires. He's looking for Stein next on the old hards. It's already pit once, but it's very early. It might be time for him to come into the pits as Coy's overtakes Optic Jamie in the AlphaTauri. Very clean, very, very clean through here. Milan and Tyler coming out on a brand new set of mediums. Excellence, the now leader in the race with Abdulaziz 1 second behind, still in DRS range here. Possibly making up some time. Excellence, very, very fast for a D3 driver. Now leading D1 Grand Prix here in Canada. Grizzler trying to make up that time that he lost in the pits. Now losing K5 behind him. He's out of DRS range, but he might still be able to get it off from the detection zone, being so far back in Sector 3. And he was just able to get in DRS range, so possibly trying to take back some time here, maintain position. Stein behind on the 19-lap old hards, possibly looking for a pit here, maybe the long run. No, he might be going to lap 24, 25, looking to go onto the softs. Very fast final stint, but he is losing a lot of time to the drivers behind. Death Star now less than a second behind, entering DRS range. So we look for some possible overtakes. Tyler now very close to Idiot behind. 1 lap versus 13 lap old as Idiot goes into the pits. Very easy position change there. Death Star now half a second. In closing, 4/10. Overtaking Stein on the straight. Now Stein, he might be going for the long run here, but he will have to pit soon if he wants to maintain position. Unless he can defend from DeVito behind, which he's now losing a lot of time to. Not quite in the DRS range yet, but he will be on the next straight as we look for possible overtakes. McLaren going on Alfa Romeo here. Abdulaziz versus Excellence. D1 versus D3. This is really a David and the Goliath moment here. Excellence trying to maintain a gap. Abdulaziz saying, no, I'm not letting you get away from me. I'm going to show you I'm in D1. Oh, it's very tight on the corner there. Very good lines. Trying their hardest not to get another track limits penalty. 13 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. Grizzler now making up time. He's made up 4 seconds already since his pit stop. He's 7 laps newer on his tires. As Vavo falls out of DRS range, but he might have just enough, and he does. Doing a very good job of maintaining this gap to the car behind. Not really looking for an overtake. If he just stay behind Excellence, then he has lots of possibilities, since Excellence does have a 3-second track limit penalty. Now Excellence going into the pit, maybe looking for another pair of mediums, as he is, and Grizzler takes back P2 position, looking back for his P1. Did very good in qualifying. Let's see how he can finish this race now. 7 laps difference between the 2 tires of the McLaren and the Red Bull. Now lots of action going on behind. 2 soft runners. Excellence behind. 6/10 to DeVito and the Haas in front. Whoa, wait, what's going on? Wait. Is my chat not updating? Hold on. I'm not certain if my chat is updating or not. Restart. Okay. There we go. Yep, we're good. Okay. Sorry about that. Maybe I was just freaking out. I hadn't had a message in a while. Okay. So now Grizzler made up that 8 seconds difference. Oh, as a virtual safety car comes out. Who is the culprit? No one's stopped on track. Don't know if anyone's missing a wing. Not that I'm seeing. Death Star still looking good. Yep, all good. Chat's fine. Ooh. Ah, man. Abdulaziz gets the drive through under a virtual safety car. Now going onto the onto the soft compounds, looking for a fast last 10 laps here, maybe trying to pick up a fastest lap as well. Rejoining into P6. So move over to the leader now. See. Death Star looking to gain a position on K5 here. 10 laps left in the race. Check penalties. Oh, here we go. Idiot with 17 seconds. Go back to the interval. Oh, DeVito and Excellence exchanging positions there. Excellence back into P4. DeVito looking to regain his position, but he's falling and falling fast. Death Star now within DRS range of K5. Let's go back here. Check on Excellence now. Get some B-roll for y'all. Get some screenshots. DeVito now falling out of DRS range before the DRS detection zone. Abdul is not, though. Possibly looking for an overtake here. Staying very close on the exit. Going outside. DeVito now losing 2 positions in the last 3 laps. DeVito with another 3-second time penalty. McLaren picking up the... Wait. Disqualified? What? Oh, okay. As Abdul is now out of this session. Oh, you only get 3 laps. He didn't serve his drive-through. Abdul is now out of the session because he didn't serve his penalty. That is unlucky. Bad day for the McLaren. Grid's still pretty spread out. K5 looking on a move for Death Star here. With penalties included, he's got 3 seconds on Death Star. Trying to get into P2 now. Finish P2 on track. Okay. Excellence now. Half a second behind K5 in maintaining the gap. Now if he's going to go for a position here, he's got to do it fast. Only 7 laps remaining in the session. He's got to make up those 3 seconds to account for his track limits penalties. Optic Jamie picking up another, now up to 9 seconds, as he is the undisputed race follower. Grizzler, 17 seconds ahead with penalties. Idiot picks up another warning, pumping him up to 20 seconds. Alright. Yeah, I got you, Jamie. Excellent, still maintaining the gap to the car in front of him. K5 saying, I do not want you to overtake me here. Maybe need another glass of water. Mouth's gone dry again. Watch this without the UI. Nice and clean racing here. Going into the Sector 2 chicane. Down the small straight here. Looking to have the inside line. Ooh, didn't look like the greatest exit. If he takes the inside here, might be able to go for an overtake. Ooh, as he gets close. Good exit from Excellence. Still trying to find space to overtake on K5 in front. Gets the DRS, but I don't know if he's close enough to go for a overtake here. Nope, he's smart to stay behind. Through the chicane. 5 laps remaining in the session now. R-Web picks up another 3 seconds. DeVito has now closed the gap. Haas looking for a very good result here. Now less than a second separating P3 from P5. Very close racing coming to the conclusion of the Canadian Grand Prix. Still very solid racing coming out of D1 today, even with the majority of the grid out. And then you have Grizzler that's pulling a Max Verstappen. Call him Grizzler. That was awful. I apologize. But DeVito now looking to make a move on Excellence here. He goes around the inside. Oh, double move. Maybe. No, he needs to pull out here. Oh, as he picks up a track limits warning. Definitely from that one. But not an illegal overtake. Maybe he did get it in through cleanly. DeVito's now up into P3. K5 behind with 3 seconds in track limits. Could still be on for P3. Just swap positions. Death Star out in no man's land. Just nothing but clear air. Tries to get a lap time penalties. You see the brand new driver of Koi's the only one to not, aside from Grizzler, to not pick up a track limits penalty yet. Keeping it very clean for his first race in HDR. So Burt now maybe going for a move on his teammate. Stein in front. Excellence now. 2/10. Just trying to maintain position maybe. Yep. Oh, as he's closing the gap, tries to go around the inside into turn 1. Nope, does not take the dive. K5 now might be trying to go for the overtake. Be smart for whoever's engineering these two Haas drivers to allow for the positions to invert. Still very close between P3, P5. Really good racing coming out of these three. Excellence up into P5, being a D3 driver, reserving today. Going into the final chicane, careful not to hit the wall of champions, gets very close, but does not make contact with the wall. Maintaining position so far. The stream has stopped for me. Oh, nope, I think we're good. Oh, loses his back end. Uh-oh. Someone could confirm in the chat that we are still live, that would be amazing. Fuck's sake. Okay. We're back. How's Death Star second? I'm not certain. But the replay will be able to answer that question. Yeah, sorry about the stream going down. Excellence is going for the position here. Slams DeVito into the wall. He's now overtaking the two Haas drivers. Will not be able to finish ahead of K5 on track unless he gets 3 seconds ahead. Oh! Corner cutting and gained 1 place. Excellence will not finish ahead. Now 11 seconds in penalties. Yeah, I apologize. It's my internet that lagged us out. Don't know why, but as long as we're back, so we go to Grizzler. Who will bring us home to the conclusion of the Grand Prix. And another hydrate to finish off the stream session. Drivers crossing the line now. Grizzler on a victory lap, waving to the fans, saying, "I did it. I finished a clear 20 seconds ahead of the next." Showing his domination on track today and in qualifying. So Milan picks up another 3 seconds. The last to finish being the AlphaTauri of Optic Jamie. Now coming across the line, finishing his race, P13. Wow. What a race. Yeah. huge shout out to Excellence. Maybe some mistimed overtakes in positions that they shouldn't be, but you know what? For a D3 driver, not a bad session. So we will get to some post-race interviews, maybe. Get some screenshots of this. Nah. Go ahead and okay. Maybe look at the race director as well. And there's no incidents there. Okay. Don't know if I can. Yeah, we will be doing post-race interviews. I guess I'll just do it on this screen. Let me go ahead and post the link into chat. Let's go. Where is it? Okay. Just give me one moment to post the link. All right, we have our first interviewee. We have Death Star P2 on the race. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, that went really good. Considering quali, I started last. I thought it would be quite difficult to get up through the pack, but I managed to do it really easy. I did get a drive-through penalty during one of the virtual safety cars,
Right.
so that's why I had to stop. That's why I had to stop twice.
Yeah. So going back to quali, what happened? Because we saw you go on a just probably testing the ground lap on your mediums, and we didn't see you for the rest of the session. What happened?
I tried to go for a lap of my softs, but I invalidated. So, but I had enough fuel to go again. So I did that, and then I ended up crashing into the wall in the second chicane.
Okay. Yep, that'll do it for you. So back onto the race, you know, you started last, back of the grid. How was it fighting up into P2 today?
It was actually way cleaner than I expected. Space was given. It was all good.
I wholeheartedly agree. It was a very, very honorable race, is what I want to say. Everyone was respecting some space, and then we had a few collisions, and we did have a DNF from I can't remember who was, but it was on Wall of Champs as per usual. But we didn't see much dirty driving on your end. We saw it was so clean, so professional the entire time. I was behind you, like, all right, let's see if we can make up this gap now. I know he's got the pace in him. Let's see what he can do. And you know, from going back of the grid, race start to finishing in P2, what a monumental success today's been. Do you have anything interesting you would note from your POV?
Well, to be honest, I had to keep an eye on the battle behind me because of my penalties.
Yeah.
Especially K5 M5.
Yep.
I noticed a lot of swapping around. Was it like really?
Yeah, it was the two Haas drivers, K5 and DeVito, versus the D1 reserve of Excellence, who's actually a D3 full-time driver. So for him to be able to finish where he did today, that's maybe he's in the wrong division, is what I'm saying. But
yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a really good race, really clean and super professional. It's been nice talking to you, and I can't wait to see you next week, man.
Yep.
All right, have a good one. As we move on to our next interviewee, which would be Arweb.
Hello.
Hey, Arweb, how's it going, man?
Okay, not too bad.
So, it seemed kind of like an anonymous race from you. You qualified what, P11, P12, starting from the
13, I
back.
think.
13th, you said?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
starting from the back and finishing in relatively the same position, how was the race and the battles from your point of view?
The battles were good with people. It was just that just wasn't very quick and just probably trying too much to not get track limits penalties.
Yep. Yeah, understood. This is a historic track for being ruthless with its track limits penalties, but it seemed like kind of like an anonymous race from you. It didn't really contain much overtaking, but you did do a very good job of maintaining position. Didn't fall too far behind everyone else. So I will have to say congrats on that. How did you feel after the race? Were you relieved, or were you like, I could have done better there?
Probably could have done better with a bit more practice, but that's
Yep.
that.
Well, time trial will only do so much. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's been good having you today. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Just keep it up. Or maybe do less time trial, more race sessions. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to our next interviewee, which is Stein,
Hello, mate.
the man in the scarlet Ferrari. Really interesting race
Yeah.
from you. So I saw a lot of battles, and then coming into the conclusion of the race, how was it between you and your teammate? Because I can't remember, one of you two had less penalties than the other, but you were side by side going into it. Was there an engineer in your ear going like, "Hey, we need to invert positions here," or were you just thinking, you know what, it's gonna finish with this same position anyway, so might as well just maintain it?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. First, shout out to my entire Ferrari team because guys just let me go as well because I was on the soft tires. I was struggling so bad on the hards from the beginning of the race onwards, but I knew this was the best strategy. And it was going to gain me a lot in the closing phases because I was like P9 before the pits, and I came out in P3. And KM, of course, he drove an incredible race as a Div 2 driver, and he just let me pass to gain in the Ferrari constructors.
100%.
So that's very nice of him. And my second podium, I think, in a row now.
Yep.
Been really on it.
Excellent racing from you
And
today.
starting from P12 as well. So it's been a great race. I didn't have my quali, but I have to get my quali up, and the race pace is there, so I can fight for some races if my quali pace is a little bit better.
Yep. I mean, just overall excellent drive, great teamwork. How did you feel after the conclusion of the race? Did you feel like, you could have done better? You could have gone for maybe a P2 there, or were you happy with where you ended up?
Yeah, I could have done better. I had only so much practice, but the race simulations I did before that helped me now.
Yep.
But the traction was really bad on the hard compound, and I lost a lot of time
Yep.
on that ground. And if I didn't lose that much time there, I could have gone for the race win. But I'm happy with how I performed today, and the Ferrari team is gaining, so I'm happy with that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. You had a very, very good drive today, very commendable, and I can't wait to see what you do next week. All right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. All right, and as that concludes our post-race interviews, that will conclude the stream. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and watching the Hyperdrive Racing D1 around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Quebec, Canada. And I can't wait to see what we go on to next week. Have a good night.